The oppression of the Roma. Romani ancestors first arrived in Europe from northern India around the 6th century after traveling through modern-day Iran, Armenia, and Turkey. The Roma are the poorest and most marginalized European citizens with a population that draws close to 12 million. Originally, the Roma were welcomed for their skills and talents, but in the mid-16th century, governments and churches started to see them as suspicious outsiders and heathens. In royal Hungary, the crown developed strong anti-Romani policies and viewed the Roma as possible Turkish spies. The first anti-Romani legislation was issued after the March of Moravia in 1538. 3 years later, Ferdinand I, who was the Emperor of the Holy Roman Empire and King of Bohemia, Hungary, and Croatia, ordered that the Romani in his realm be expelled after a series of fires and invasions in Prague. In 1545, large parts of the Holy Roman Empire declared that whosoever kills a Roma will be guilty of no murder. In 1710, Joseph I of the Holy Roman Empire declared that all adult Romani males be hung without trial and all women, young men, and children be flogged and banished forever. However, in 1721, Charles VI amended the decree to include the execution of women. During the United States congressional debate in 1866, lawmakers originally planned to exclude the Roma from the 14th Amendment that granted citizenship to all persons born within U.S. territory. Before and during World War II, the Romani genocide was planned by Nazi Germany to perform ethnic cleansing. Under Adolf Hitler, a decree from the Nuremberg Laws in 1935 declared the Roma as enemies of the race-based state, which put them in the same category as the Jewish. The Nazi Racial Hygiene and Demographic Biology Research Unit was created in 1936, and after extensive fieldwork and medical examinations of Roma, the unit concluded that though any were not pure Roma, they still posed a threat to German racial purity and should be eliminated. Heinrich Himmler suggested that they be sent to remote reservations that paralleled the Native American reservations in the U.S. December of 1942, Heinrich Himmler ordered the deportation of all Roma from the Greater Germanic Reich to the newly established Roma concentration camp at Auschwitz. It was originally estimated that between 250 to 500,000 Roma were killed by Nazi Germany and its collaborators, but is now believed to be around 1.5 million of the 2 million European Roma at the time, completely decimating the Roma populations of Croatia, Estonia, Lithuania, Luxembourg, and the Netherlands. During the last Balkan War in the early 90s, the Roma in Kosovo were caught between and victimized by paramilitary soldiers from both sides. In the name of reverse ethnic cleansing at the end of the war, Albanian extremists raped and murdered Roma, and mobs plundered and burnt down entire Romani neighborhoods, forcing thousands to flee for their lives and caused the forced migration of as many as 100,000 Roma. In April of 2017, in an echo of the early 90s, a mob of ethnic Hungarians raided a Roma neighborhood in Gorgani after the local media identified 2 Romani children as the culprits of a theft. According to a journalist who was later expelled from the area, Romani families were dragged from their homes in 5 locations and then beaten by the mob before their houses were set on fire. Anti-Romani sentiments have continued well into the 2000s, particularly in Slovakia, Hungary, Slovenia, and Kosovo. In fact, the EU censored both the Czech Republic and Slovakia in 2007 for segregating Romani children from regular schools. In 2017, a government minister in Sofia, Bulgaria, named Valery Simeonov publicly described Roma as feral, inhuman creatures and stated that the Romani women have the instincts of stray bitches. He also stands for demolishing Romani neighborhoods and isolating families on reservations that can be showcased as tourist attractions to raise income. In 2013, Jean-Marie Le Pen, the founder of the National Front Party in France, had a lawsuit filed against him by the European Roma and Travelers Forum after publicly calling the Roma smelly and rash-inducing. In 2009, a Romani man and his 5-year-old son were shot dead in a village south of Budapest after fleeing their home set on fire by a petrol bomb set up by Romani hate groups. In Italy in 2001, it was ruled that it was acceptable to discriminate against Roma on the grounds that they are thieves by nature. Along with this, Romani children were all forced to be fingerprinted on June of 2008, which many around the world have drawn parallels to the beginning of the Holocaust. In Sweden, between 500 and 1,000 Roma have been victims of compulsory sterilization since World War I. In Turkey, the Roma are currently excluded from corona aid, earthquake aid, and excluded from many living areas. The segregation of Romani students around Europe is still a widespread practice. Many Roma children are sent to all Romani schools that offer inferior education or are sent to classes for children with learning disabilities. They are also sent to delinquent schools with a variety of human rights abuses. In 2019, citizens of many countries were surveyed, and some of the countries with the most unfavorable views of the Roma were Italy at 83%, Slovakia at 76%, Greece at 72%, Bulgaria at 68%, and the Czech Republic at 66%. The EU Commissioner for Human Rights noted that the large anti-Romani sentiments of today reflect the rhetoric used by Nazi Germany before and during World War II. Roma have more health problems, worse housing, and lower literacy rates than non-Roma. In Central and Eastern Europe, they can expect to live 10 years less than others. On average, they can also earn less and are more likely to be unemployed. This situation is not the inevitable result of poverty, but because of centuries of prejudice and discrimination from governments, institutions, and individuals. Together, they have pushed the great majority of Roma to the margins of society and kept them there.